Thinking out loud.
What up? I'm just thinking out loud about this situation up in Illinois. Illinois cop by the name of, I think, Joseph Gliniewicz, something like that. They called him G.I. Joe as his nickname. What happened was he ended up getting killed. And what it was first that he was told everybody that he was in pursuit of 3 suspects. There was a manhunt and everything. Come to find out, he ended up committing suicide. It was no suspects. The whole story was fabricated. He basically committed suicide to cover up from some of the things that he was already doing. Some of the crimes that he was already doing was he was basically embezzling and stealing money that was getting funneled through the department. He was using it to pay mortgage, gym costs, adult websites, everything. And also, he also took it as he was also trying to start like a war on cops, trying to show that there was like a war on cops going on, which could be considered another thing going towards some of this gun control. Check this story out real quick.
We're here this morning to wrap up the investigation into the death of Lieutenant Charles Joseph Gliniewicz. This extensive investigation has concluded with an overwhelming amount of evidence that Gliniewicz's death was a carefully staged suicide. We have determined this staged suicide was the end result of extensive criminal acts that Gliniewicz had been committing. In fact, he was under increasing levels of personal stress from scrutiny of his management of the Fox Lake Police Explorer Unit. We have the highest degree of confidence in the facts which led us to this conclusion, which Lake County Coroner Dr. Rudd will confirm. In addition, we have concurrence of our investigative partners, federal, state, including the FBI, their Behavioral Analysis Unit, and the ATF. With those partners, our investigation strongly indicates criminal activity on the part of at least 2 other individuals. Because that part of the investigation is open and will be ongoing, we will have no further comment on that aspect of the investigation. Here's a brief summary of the important elements of the investigation which led us to these conclusions. Further elaboration and further detailed information regarding these facts are provided to all of you in your handouts. The investigation found Gliniewicz had been stealing and laundering money from the Fox Lake Police Explorer post. This had been occurring over the past 7 years. Gliniewicz was also found to have forged signatures and official documents. Thousands of dollars were used by Gliniewicz for personal purchases, travel expenses, mortgage payments, personal gym memberships, adult websites, facilitating personal loans, and unaccounted cash withdrawals. The documents discovered with forged signatures were requisitions for federal surplus equipment and official police explorer documents. We recovered electronic messages that were deleted from Gliniewicz's personal and work cellular phone, including incriminating statements that had been deleted prior to his suicide.
All right, you saw that right there? That's pretty crazy. Now, I was sitting here thinking at first, before I really read the whole story, you can check the link in the description box if you want to check out more on the story. I'm like, how the hell did this happen? First off, you already know they doing this because they feel that they can go ahead and get away with it. Otherwise, why would you do this? As a cop, he's a cop all these years and has been doing this for like 7 years of taking money. Was there not any other crime going on? There was no crimes he could solve, nothing that he could do. So he had enough time on his hands. He wasn't busy, enough time on his hands to go ahead and embezzle money, stealing money, this and that, just tricking off money through the government. Yeah, basically taxpayers' money through the government, through the department. But there was no other crime that needed to be handled. It better not have been any crime in his district or any area that he was in too. So he had the balls because he already knows pretty much he can get away with this type of stuff. We see all these situations going on now, and they do them because they feel they can get away with it. This don't even that's not training. This is he really felt that he could get away with it. He went ahead and did something illegal and was going to keep doing it. Now, supposedly he was getting caught up. Thought they was going to be on him, so he figured that was the only way out. But instead, I guess, of him just killing himself, being a suicide, and then looking crazy, he figured, listen, I might be able to help some stuff out. Go ahead and let's make this like a war on cops type of thing. So I'll fabricate a story because I feel I could get away with it. Nobody's going to care. They ain't not really going to do nothing about it. And supposedly he had a couple of people that was possibly working with him with it. Because when I heard about it, I was like, how the hell did he end up killing himself? Wouldn't this look like a self-inflicted gun wound since he was chasing suspects? When they said he shot himself twice. One hit his vest and one hit above his vest. I was like, but you shot yourself, then you went and did it again? I guess because you didn't do it enough? That's kind of weird, right? I'm just sitting here focusing on you pulling the trigger twice to shoot yourself. Maybe he did shoot it twice quickly. It did. But I'm just still trying to figure out, did he think that just because he was dead, they weren't going to look into the stuff that he was doing? And then, that also would affect any arrest that he was involved in. Anything that he was involved in, that affects that too, because now you got to question the type of person that you have. And also, what kind of people do we have out here on the force? He was trying to get something started with a war on cops, attack on cops. That's lying to the public too. And that's also with the whole gun control thing, and just in time, political season and everything going on. But really, it's showing the gun control and the issues with guns is with the boys in blue. They don't want to prosecute each other. We see all the same videos of people doing stuff, and how many cops have actually been charged with something. Not just charged. How many cops have been, convicted of some crimes in the past, let's say, couple years? Of all these police unarmed shootings that we see, how many have actually been convicted of any of these crimes? So they're going to keep doing it. They feel that they can. And it's pretty crazy. They had the balls to go ahead and try it. So gun control, basically, you need to control some of these people that are out here on the guns. These are people that are actually being paid to walk around with a gun on their hip and patrol, and actually taking the law into their own hands, because obviously he decided to do that. He wasn't getting paid enough from the people, so the struggling taxpayer that was already paying his salary weren't giving him enough. He just felt he wasn't getting enough money already as is. So he figured he'd take some more. And then when he gets caught up, he couldn't handle it. So what is really going on in the minds of some of these cops that's out here now? Are we doing psych evaluations? Is there anything going on? You can't really train against that, but somebody needs to look at somebody and be like, listen, we need to have more educated cops or something, or it's got to be something. Y'all tell me. I was just thinking about this, but it's kind of crazy. Also goes to show on how weak of a type of person that this man was, that he was okay with stealing this free money, but he didn't want to work the hard way to get the extra money. But then once it came down to him doing the time for the crime that he committed, he didn't even want to do that. He wanted to try to pass the blame off on somebody else. If you did it, you did it. So own up to it. Don't try and ruin somebody else's life because yours is ruined. And they also said that he wanted to go ahead and try to kill somebody that was investigating him and possibly would have found out about everything. So own up to it. You wanted to do this crime. That's what you wanted to live in. You should have owned it up instead of taking this soft way out or whatever happened. Own up to it. Don't try and take yourself and put yourself in a situation that you trying to portray that there's a war on police, that there's gun control issues. Also trying to pass off that there was other suspects. You tried to ruin somebody else's life all because you couldn't handle the crimes that you was committing, or you couldn't handle being caught. You were strong enough to take that easy free money from people, but you wasn't strong enough to deal with the consequences. These are the type of weak people that we also have that are on this police force. These are like the people that are out patrolling. Criminals, basically. That's a straight up criminal, right? Feels he could get away with it. Straight up criminal activity. So basically now they're looking into it on who might have been working with him with this whole thing, but he just felt that he could go ahead and say it was 3 suspects he was chasing. I didn't see who the suspects were, what they looked like. I'm wondering what the kind of description he gave and had everybody out on this manhunt looking for them for. So now, what do? Do you look into the police department now? Is this department or Illinois or anywhere start looking more into some of their officers and some of the people that we have going on? Isn't there like an agency for that? Isn't Internal Affairs or some other people supposed to investigate this stuff? So how come 7 years nobody noticed like these funds was just going places, or that he never had no extra, he had extra money and things like that, but he working the same amount of hours as the rest of the people? It looks bad. Also look at everything else that he was involved in. Anything that he touched or was involved in, it could be tainted, because now you know that this type of person had no remorse, no feelings towards anything. He would go ahead and do something dirty if he felt like he needed to. It would have been kind of crazy if he didn't kill himself. I'm wondering how that went. Or was this like something else? He was in bed with these other two people, alleged people. Maybe they shot him. See, at first they with the suspect call and everything, they also said that they didn't find his gun right away. So that's why they thought he was shot. Now, maybe if they'd have found his gun laying there, they would have saw that it was fired. They might have put it together earlier. They didn't find his gun. So maybe them suspects he was chasing, could those have been the other people that he are suspected to be involved with, and something went wrong, something went bad, didn't go right, some things didn't get paid off right? I don't know. The whole situation looks ugly. Hey, but let me know what y'all think. I'm just thinking out loud.